Football Prizes sponsors Club at 22. Football Prizes gives you a chance to win the very best prizes the beautiful game has to offer. This week you can win a Paul Gascoigne signed and framed Rangers shirt. There are also 9 instant win prizes available in this competition. Tickets cost £3.56 when you use code CLUB at 22. Go to footballprizes.co.uk or click the link in the description for this podcast to get your tickets.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Club at 22, your Rangers podcast. This is the club preview. Another week has passed of bipolar performances, from domestically clueless to European masters, from a Colombian hero being left at home to a new American hero arising. Bing bong. Just another week of being a Rangers fan, and I would not change it for the world. I am your host this evening, Ryan Haymarch, and I have 2 guests this evening. Our first guest is Scotia Gemmell. How are you, Scotia?
Right, Ryan. Yes, I'm doing really well. Really fantastic week, isn't it? I think I'm just slowly starting to come down now, but every time I kind of look at anything Champions League related, I start rising up again and again. So brilliant feeling this week.
It's taken a slight turn from the weekend, and I know another man that I am introducing you to. You already know, the podfar himself. How are you, Cam? Are you feeling any better after the game during the week?
Yes, I'm feeling. I'm feeling better, mate. Yes, I am feeling. I was just on a kind of emotional, I don't know, like snowball going down a hill that it just kept getting worse. I actually listened back to the start of the pod and my voice is so shaky, man, because I was just full of adrenaline. I really was. Absolutely mental. But what a week. Honestly, what a week. First off, Ross McLeod, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member, mate. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. And Andrew Moore, we hadn't even went live, mate, and you're donating to the channel. That's incredible. It really is. It's so humbling when you do that. I can't thank you enough. That's absolutely fantastic. So yes, hello everybody. What a week. I can't wait to do this podcast tonight, honestly.
Aye, it should be a pretty easy podcast for us to do, and it's brilliant to see so many names in the chat again. I know there's a lot of pods out there, but please like, share, and subscribe, as we always say that, and we do appreciate everybody in the comments. And Andrew Muir, it's the first thing I said when I logged on with the guys before we went live. I was like, how can someone be on this already and giving us a donation? I really don't know what to say. I get quite embarrassed with things like this, and that's something else. It's more than a token, is the way I see it, and your comments are greatly received as well. And also the new member. What was the new member as well, new subscriber?
Ross McLeod.
Ross McLeod, welcome, Ross. Share with your friends. We really appreciate your support. Guys, like I said, this is going to be an easy pod to do for me, and there's only one place to start. Is we're in the Champions League. We are in the Champions League group stage, and it is fantastic. You guys did a reaction pod to the PSV game. I was still celebrating for many hours. Actually, didn't get in till the following day, but we'll talk about that another time. Yes, Rangers went and proved everybody wrong, including myself. I didn't have much faith going into the game on Wednesday, and we did the business. It was a masterclass from Giovanni van Bronckhorst and another goal from on-form striker Antonio Cholak. Rangers were worthy winners, despite what Mr. Joey Veerman would say. We go progress into the Champions League group stages for the first time in circa 12 years. An unbelievable feeling for us all. Pretty much completes the journey for me. We have won a title, we have won a cup, we've got through the divisions, but I think everybody feels that this was the one that you just wanted to get done, back to the table with the big clubs, and this is where we belong, and it's a fantastic feeling. For me, the way Rangers set up, I always get this feeling after 10 minutes as if I can predict a game, but my confidence completely swung the other way. I felt that we were set up beautifully. Off the ball, the defence was just in the right shape for me. We looked as if we could contain PSV. They were always going to get spells of the ball, but I just felt Gio got his tactics absolutely spot on. Scotia, I know you did the reaction with Carney, but just anything changed since you did the reaction, and how great is it to be in the Champions League group stage?
Yeah, it's every time you say it, I just feel myself smiling. It's tremendous to be in there to get through. Because if I'm being honest, I think I'd messaged you guys in the group chat on the Tuesday. I think if I'm being totally honest, in my head, I probably thought it was maybe just a step too far. Given that we drew the first leg at Ibrox and seen them, I was like, maybe a step too far in my head. But in my heart, I was like, no, we can do this. And Gio turns up with his spot-on tactics and proves once again what a good manager he is in these type of games. His tactics and when was it, Tuesday, Wednesday night there were absolutely spot on for that game. And even looking back to the first game at Ibrox, I think his tactics were pretty much spot on in that game as well. We obviously got undone by 2 errors at set pieces, which was frustrating. But I think over the course of that game, his tactics were pretty spot on as well. Gio's got this uncanny knack of being able to kind of get us through these 2-legged ties. It's remarkable, particularly when you're coming into a game just after what we'd witnessed at the weekend domestically. It's absolutely huge. Looking back at the game as well, I thought we were worthy winners, no matter what Veerman wants to come out and cry about. I thought the game management, and particularly in the second half, obviously helped with De Jong going off, I think, but I thought we managed that game fantastically, and it was so good yesterday just sitting. I know we'll get into it, but just sitting watching that draw, waiting for that draw to begin as it was. That was so good just to be sitting doing that. I want more of this feeling all the time, please.
Oh, it's. I think because of the way the weekend had went, Scotia, I think it came out of the blue. Yes, I was confident Rangers, if they turned up, could do it. But my confidence, as you know from the group chat, my confidence was shattered with Rangers after the weekend. I found the weekend very, very tough to take, as we all did. But a lot of feeling on Wednesday night, and yeah, a second shout out to Joey Veerman. I know you'll be watching, Joey, but yes, Rangers are in the Champions League group stage. That won't be the last time I say that in this pod this evening. Carney, you were on the pod as always, in the reaction pod, and you gave your thoughts on how we played. You were very excited, as I was. But what about Gio and his tactics? Is just something he gets his tactics spot on in Europe, does he not?
Not half, mate. Again, quickly, we're turning a bit into GBX, but I think everybody's obviously still celebrating because we've had another donation through the Buy Me a Coffee. It's just came through there. Dundee Taylor has bought the guys a coffee. I mean, thank you so much, honestly. It must be because everybody's in a great mood, but that's just tremendous, honestly. Thank you, everybody that chooses to do that, honestly. It's very, very humbling, and it will go to improving this podcast and making sure we get better and better and better. So I cannot thank you enough for that. Gio, mate, it's always in the moment, mate, when you're watching the game of football. It's hard to, especially with so much emotion in a game, it's hard to really analyse it properly. I've had a chance to watch it back now, sat and done so many, many times, if I'm going to be honest. And the second half, I think Curry Muncher mentioned, there was a factor that changed the way PSV had to play the game in terms of them taking off De Jong. They did lose their focal point at that point, and it kind of changed the way they played. But I still think the way that we constructed our business in the second half, we dominated it. We dominated it a lot more than I felt like we did when I was watching the game live, because especially after we scored, I don't remember very much. I didn't at the time, didn't remember very much, but we thoroughly deserved it. And Gio, the age-old question is going to keep going on, I think, is can you build a good team in Europe that's good domestically? And I don't know if that's possible. I mean, I think we have to stop in the league showing so much respect to these teams, and it's no real disrespect to them. We should be beating these teams because of the stature of the club that we are, because of the finances that we have, and it's not really acceptable when we dip below a certain standard. I mean, if a team gets a shot on goal and domestically for us, or a shot on target, it's like that's like Rangers fans just won't put up with it. They were always going to get chances, PSV, and look, they probably did. They were unlucky not to take the lead, if I'm going to be honest, but so were we. That's the thing. I think the first half was more than equal. I still think the middle of the half, if you like, was all Rangers. I don't think Van Nistelrooy really adapted to what Gio decided to do in terms of us pressing them and choosing when to do it. That's the thing. It wasn't just headless chicken stuff. It was pick your moment. And it's exactly what Tillman done in the second half. He picked his moment to go, right, I'm getting on you here. that boy went into a complete panic every time I see it. You can see him panicking. He wins that ball, and it's as easy as you like, even though when he scored the ball, it seemed like it just, that kind of trickle of the ball. It was just like waiting for Trolac to hit it. I was up right in front of it. I was probably about an inch away from my telly at the point, just waiting for him to put it away. And when he done, mate, of course the usual thing goes through my mind of this is a wee bit too early. But after that, we absolutely dominated, mate. And I think the belief went out of them. It went out of the stadium. I don't think they fully believed that they were going to. And again, I've just been distracted because all you people are just being so unbelievably nice tonight. John Lammy's just donated £10 as well to the channel. Guys, this is incredible. Genuinely incredible. He's going to make me, I cry stupid things. He's going to keep doing this. This is incredible. Amazing. Honestly, that's incredible. Thank you so much, everybody. This is just class. This is brilliant.
Can Rangers not qualify for the Champions League group stage every week and all die happy, boys?
Yes, exactly.
It's brilliant. And honestly, Mr. John Lammy, what a gesture that is, and it's very greatly received. So nice one, very, very, very well received. I'm honestly, I get really embarrassed with stuff like that. Anyway, we could move on, but let's keep talking about this game on Wednesday because, I know there's something I think we play Ross County or something tomorrow, but let's just talk about PSG now.
I know, who cares? I know, really, who cares?
Gio has taken a lot of credit, and I think he deserves it, but I think there are other key men from Wednesday night, and I want to speak about this boy from America, Bing Bong. I'm going to say that every time I mention his name because for me, we had a pod at the beginning of the season when we were trying to fill a bit of time and doing a bit of guesswork of how the season would go, and we said who's going to be our top goal scorer, who's going to be our most valuable player, who's going to be the most underrated player, and none of us mentioned James Sands, whatever you want to call him. But so far, I know we're only a handful of games in, but so far he has come out the blocks and actually to a level where a lot of players are struggling to perform at consistently at the moment. For me, is I think he's undroppable. Scotia, how good has Sands played at centre half so far this season?
He's been excellent so far. It's got similarities to when Bassey came in last season and played at centre half. The player playing out of his position, and he seemed to be strolling through games. I know he's come out in the press, kind of said that Goldson's been an absolute kind of rock and a big help for him in terms of in leadership and things like that. Because you do notice that Sands does seem like a pretty quiet guy. And in the mould similar to Stephen Davis, almost that he's not a screamer shouter, whereas Goldson probably is a screamer shouter kind of player. And it's probably one of the reasons why I know it's probably changing now, but there was a wee feeling among the support at times that Sands was a bit of the kind of whipping boy, almost, maybe not as far along as that, but it felt like that, probably just because he is a quiet guy, whereas Goldson screams and shouts even if he makes a mistake, and people like to see that. But I think Sands has been absolutely brilliant playing at centre half when he's probably best position would probably be an anchor man down in the midfield. Really, kind of what I was thinking is like when Stuart McCall played for us towards the end of his career, when Stuart McCall was kind of sitting in that deep lying anchor man role in midfield, similar to that. But I've been really impressed with Sands, and I know a lot of people had some thoughts about his option to buy being about $6 million, I think it was, and saying that's too high. But he's, game by game, he's kind of shown that he might be actually worth $6 million.
Yeah, he came with a big reputation, Carney, and I think we are very ignorant. I certainly am, and I'll put my hands up to of the MLS and American footballers, and I shouldn't be, because one of my favourite players when I was younger, it was Claudio Reyna. I loved Claudio Reyna. I thought he never gave the ball away. He's a fantastic player for Rangers, and I think there is a bit of snobbery when it comes to the Americans and coming over here. And I thought the same with Sands. I thought he's not a name anybody knows, and maybe his background's not coming from Bayern Munich or whatever. But this guy is quickly, if he keeps at this level, he is not only justifying that fee, you're looking to sign him up ASAP, because for me, he looks a great utility player. And even if we do bring Davies into centre half, I think Sands plays centre mid because his composure on the ball, his decision making, his reading in the game as well was really impressed me.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I have to. Jim Sloan has just donated £10 for the chat as well. Thank you so much. I'm running out of ways to thank you, so that's amazing. Thank you so much for the support you're showing us. This is class. It really is. It's very, very humbling and a wee bit overwhelming, but it's amazing. Thank yous. Right, Sans, yes. I didn't think it was going to happen for him. I'm not going to lie. I'll sit here and say I didn't see where his future was within the club. I thought he was brought in as that squad player, as the kind of Craig Moore of old times, if you like. You just play him anywhere that you needed him to play. I thought that was going to be his role. I've been so impressed with him. I really have been so impressed with him. And he isn't, he probably still isn't a centre-back, but right now he's in my team because he deserves to be in the team. I love his... he will make mistakes. Of course, he'll make mistakes. He's still young. He is still young. There's time for him to learn. But it's his willingness to just put his body on the line all the time. I mean, he flies into tackles. He's not scared to do so. And yeah, he's picked up bookings and stuff, and that'll all come in time. He'll get better at using his body as well. Again, that'll all come in time. With experience, he'll get better. I think the quote is like 4.5 million, or the rumour even is like 4.5 million to sign him. Maybe a wee bit too high just now, but you never know what after the way he is at the end of this season. We could be looking at him as maybe one of the players of the season. Not that I want to put too much pressure on the lad. But right now, yeah, I would agree. If we do decide that we're going to go with Davies at the back, then he has to move into the midfield, and he could probably do the Lundstrom role. I don't think Lundstrom's the type of player that wants to rest. I think Lundstrom wants to play every single game. He doesn't want to miss a game. He prefers it that way. I think you can tell that. But he's definitely going to be an option for us, be it in that defensive mid, be it at centre half. But right now, I generally think Davies has got a hard time to get into this. Into this team. And Scotia made the point as well about him being a very Dutch kind of centre half style player, and that's kind of what he is. That is kind of what he is. I'm very impressed with him, and he's quite a humble lad as well. When you hear him in his interviews and stuff after the game, quite a humble lad. Looks like he's willing to learn, and we could be uncovering a gem here. This could be a guy that we could end up buying and selling on, and that's the model that we're going to run on. But for right now, he's done himself no harm at all, and he's kind of answered all his critics, including us. I mean, at times we weren't really worrying about just having him at centre half, but I think he's been great. He really has been great, and I know a lot of people will not want to hear this, but Connor Goldson will have a massive part to play in that because he'll be talking them through games. So having somebody like Connor there, and yes, agreed, Connor Goldson hasn't been at his best this season. In that second half, however, against PSV, he was a man mountain. He literally was. He won every single ball that came anywhere near him. He was superb. Maybe that is something to do with De Jong not being there. However, it doesn't matter. You've got to play who's there. And I thought Goldson and Sands both and especially in the second half on Tuesday night, were terrific. But I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with Sands. I really do. And he's winning the Rangers fans over.
Yes, he's won me over big time. I'm a fan of him, and I think it always sticks out after a performance like Saturday, where for me he was the only one with pass marks on Saturday. He is doing kind of not to the same level, but this time last season we were playing poorly and we were looking for a player to kind of take us up the gears and bring out a performance, and it was Joe Aribo. And yes, not in an attacking sense, but for me, Jimmy Sands he's taken it up to that next level. And if Jamie Lowe is watching this, he's holding down the defence for his homeland. He'll know exactly what I'm talking about there. You lead me on well there, Carney, about playing yourself back into the team. Ben Davies would need to play himself back into the team. We have a striker who is out the squad at the moment, and Alfredo Morelos. We might as well talk about this just now. I had it noted down, but we'll talk about it just now. And this isn't a negative. This is more a positive for the man who's keeping him out of the squad. So Morelos will, if the talks go the way we think they might go. Van Bronckhorst did mention in his press conference today that he's going to speak to Alfredo Morelos over the coming days, and I would imagine that is going to determine whether Alfredo Morelos is going to play his part this season or he's going to be moved on. Whatever way, Rangers will continue without him, because we have a man who deserves the forward shirt, the number 9 shirt, whatever you want to call it, and Antonio Cholak. I'll stay with you, Carney. For me, once again, Cholak is showing why he is our number 1 striker at the moment. He is working off the ball. Arfield was very positive about him in his press conference today. What's your overall thoughts on Cholak this season? And, well, I know you would keep him in the team, but what are your thoughts on
him? Ali Pearson's in the chat from Mexico.
Oh, that's right. I was going to mention him, boys. Ali Pearson, everybody. You'll have known if you're tuned into the podcast every week, you'll know there's been 4 of us because we're all making an effort for 4 of us to be available on a Friday. But Ali Pearson's decided to test his relationship to the fullest and go on holiday with his girlfriend. So, staunch points off Ali, and good luck with that one. On you go, Carly. Sorry.
That's brilliant. And by the way, this proves that Ali can work the chat function, so you can get on at him for not getting involved in the chat. You can clearly use use technology to a basic level, so no excuses now, Ali. You've shot yourself in the foot there, mate. Everybody's seen it. So, seriously, I hope you're enjoying your holiday, mate. Yeah, where were we? Sorry, mate, I've lost it. What were you saying? Oh, Cholak. No, wait. Sorry. Please, apologies, everybody. Apologies. This guy's been a revelation, really. I mean, we were all tipping him as the replacement for Itten. I mean, that's kind of sacrilege, really, calling him that. It couldn't have been written any better. Gio couldn't have thought of things to go any better for justifying his decision to do what he has done with Alfredo, which I still agree with. I still think Alfredo has to be told, you have to get your head straight and you have to get fit. I think it was all maybe blown a wee bit out of proportion with Alfredo. I think it's easy done as a fan when you see it happening, and because of the history with Alfredo, you immediately jump to that set and he shouldn't. That's it. He'll never respond and all that. There might be a lot more to it than that. But Cholak, I mean, what a return. I mean, the guy who's paid for himself 3 times since he's came here now, especially with that goal on Wednesday night. And he is right now, he starts every game. Again, he starts every game right now because you cannot take that away from him. I think we've been screaming out for this different type of striker. And Kemar Roof, to a certain extent, offered it, yes. But Cholak's something completely different. He is something completely different. He might not be the most technical of players, but he's got the heart of a lion and he's willing to run as long as you want him to run. And he's in the right positions to score. I mean, it's how much more can you ask from him? He's a Mark II. He's a modern day Chris Boyd, and that's praise. I do mean that as praise because Boyd was in the right place all the time to score. So I'm very impressed with him. He's another one that's absolutely now in the hearts of the Rangers fans, and he seems to have fell in love with the club. I think he really understands it. He really gets it. He loves Ibrox. You see him banging the badge every time he scores, and he's loving where he is right now. And he's about to, the guy that put us out of Champions League last year, put us into the Champions League this year. So, yeah, the shirt is his. The shirt is his. It is up to Alfredo. Now, whatever way that conversation is going to go, my hand on my heart, I think Alfredo Morelos will stay. I think he's going to realise the opportunity that's now in front of him in terms of playing in the Champions League. But it's also a motivator for him to get his head right, to get himself right, and to get himself back to the form that we know Alfredo is. And if we're having Cholak playing the way he is, and we get Alfredo playing at his best, that is a lethal front two to have. Not that they'll play at the same time, I don't mean that, but options. I mean, a fire in Alfredo and a fire in Cholak, that's goals. Yeah,
it's goals indeed. And I think other players behind them have got another gear as well, like Kent and Tillman. I think Tillman's settling. I'm not ready to write Matondo off either. I think these guys are all settling into a different kind of club where the demands are completely different to where they've been before. And I've seen too much hilarity. It was me cracking jokes, but Blue Drew has made a donation unbelievable. It really is unbelievable, and it's again greatly received. And Rangers Avengers as well. Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot. And again, I'm embarrassed, but yes, Cholak will stay with him, Scotia, because I want to hear what your thoughts are. As you're a defender at heart, he's obviously a tough player to play against because he does his work off the ball. He looks as if he's adjusted his game to be this sole striker, and his attitude's really impressed me.
Yeah, I pegged Jolak for being top goal scorer over the course of the season, and so far so good. He's shown me what he's all about. I was excited when he came in. I know the Carney's there and Ali in the past as well, so kind of made the comparison to Chris Boyd, but I think he's got more about his game than Boyd ever did. I think if you take the good aspects of Boyd and perhaps the good aspects of Kenny Miller and kind of merge them, you've kind of got Cholak there potentially. Because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and term him along with Yelovich as a fellow countryman, but he's got the potential to be that type of player for us. He's brilliant. He's settled in at the club really well. I think it's probably helped that he's had both Barisic and Katic, sort of two fellow countrymen along here, that he can kind of really integrate with the squad almost immediately, because sometimes you do see with foreign players coming in that it takes them a period to adjust to life in a new country and things. But I've been really impressed with Cholak, and the jersey's his for as long as he wants it and keeps performing, because he's not getting dropped particularly for games in Scotland, I think, at the minute, because he's a decent option. He'll get a goal. I think he's what is he, 5 goals in 8 games at the moment.
Mm-hmm. That'll be 5 goals now, yeah. And they're domestic and European. He's doing it all, yeah. I'm very impressed with him. And sorry, Scotia, on you go. Apologies.
No, I was just going to say brilliant. That was me.
Brilliant indeed, and I'll echo that because he has been brilliant, and I'm enjoying watching him. I'm quite a bit of a geek when I'm at the games, and I like to watch new players off the ball just to kind of see if I can see it in their attitude and their movement and their work rate. And he's done nothing but impress me, Cholak. I think he's fantastic, and he's shown a great set of balls. Talking of balls, if you can put that up, thank you, Carly. Very professional, thank you. Time for a word from our sponsors, Manscaped. In football, the greats are separated by the elite ball skills, and now you can put the ball in football great by using Manscaped. This year, let Kane be the only one that's hairy and use Manscaped's top-of-the-line grooming products that will keep you smooth in your midfield. Man City may have won the cup, but your Man City will be the champion this year when you go to manscaped.com and enter code CLUBIT22 for 20% off and free delivery on your order. That's why Manscaped has the performance package. This thing is the real deal, the ultimate grooming package for a champion. Included is the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, for your nose and hair, multiple ball formulations, a travel bag, and even boxers. Put the ball indoor and make sure your hardware stays shiny with the performance package's crop preserver, anti-chafing ball deodorant and crop reviver, ball spray toner. Get 20% and free delivery with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. Celebrate a new season of the beautiful game with your newly beautiful balls, your Champions League balls. Your balls will thank you.
Well done, mate. Well done.
That's
League balls. Like we can actually say Champions League balls, and we're in the Champions League. I don't know if anybody knows that we're in the Champions League.
Let me just tell you that wasn't scripted. That was one take, and I included the Champions League bit. That's what you're getting what you pay for, guys.
Is that not in the script? There you go. Well done.
It's not in the script, boys. That you're getting what you pay for with me. I just changed it up a wee bit.
Spot on, mate.
This is Ali Pearson wouldn't have been able to do that. He did a shocker. Petrifact balls. Right, anyway. let's stick with the Champions League team because we can do Ross County at the end, guys. We're on a high and it's been a tough start to the season, so let's keep the positivity going. Rangers were in the Champions League draw yesterday, and if you were like me, you were sitting at the edge of your seat waiting Rangers being drawn. Yes, it did feel as if it took about 6 hours for them to pull Rangers from the hat, but I was buzzing during that draw, absolutely buzzing. Carney, for me, I think I was texting the chat and I was saying I just want big teams. I want a group of death. I want to see all the big teams. And I've always felt that these group draws kind of bring an anticlimax to me because I'm always wanting AC Milan. I want a big English team. I want Real Madrid. I want all this. we got it. We got the big draw yesterday. What were your thoughts? What were you wanting? Does the draw excite you?
Yeah, so I just for people are watching, I popped the draw up on the screen there. I know, as if by magic. I think. Well, I mean, when you're watching the draw, it doesn't have to take forever, but done it. Like, I mean, come on, they goes on and on and on for a long time. But in terms of the draw that we got, I mean, it could have been better. But I am of the opinion at this stage, for us, this is a free hit. It's a free hit now. There is not much pressure on the squad at all. I would love for us to be able to finish third. God, I would love for us to go through. But trips to Amsterdam, trips to Liverpool, and trips to Napoli as well. I mean, it's going to be incredible. It really is, and we're back where we're meant to be, included with these names, these massive names in world football. I did think when the draw was taking place, it looked like we were going to go into Pot C, and Pot C looked horrific. I was like, honestly, I was just waiting. As soon as they opened up the group thing and it said a wee sigh of relief went out, because Pot C would have been Group C would have been a real tough one. But I mean, Liverpool at Ibrox, I mean, there was the Champions League music. I mean, actually, even now thinking about it, the hairs in the back of my neck are standing up. It's incredible, and it's so overdue. It really is so overdue. There is no doubt this is going to be tough. Like, it is going to be tough, but we've seen with this team before that they rise to the occasion when it comes to big teams that will be considered the underdog. I would think for all of them, apart from maybe Napoli at home, maybe Ajax at home, we might be round about evens for that. I'm not 100% sure, but every other game, we're not going to be considered favourites. And it's going to take a monumental effort to even get to finish third. But I mean, what a mouth-watering prospect to be involved in. Honestly, I cannot wait for it. I cannot wait for the buzz of even just the day of it, and walking up to Ibrox knowing that it's the actual Champions League and the music's going to be playing and it's for real. We thoroughly deserve to be here. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that we thoroughly deserve to be here. We've got here the hard way, and that's the Rangers way. That's just what we do. It's the way we like to do things. But bring it on, mate, in all its shape and form. And even if we were in Group C, I would probably still be sitting here saying the same thing, mate. Just bring it on, because this is it's what it's all about. We are back, and the journey is over. It is now history, so I can't ask for much more. It's incredible, mate. It generally is incredible. Financially, stature of the club, attracting different players to the club, etc., etc. Everything about it. It just completes the want for a better word, the shit that we had to go through, and we are back, actually fully 100% back.
Yeah, as you say, bring it on, and it's where we've been working to. This team have earned us. They've earned the plaudits for us, and what I love about this team is, and I've said this many times in European podcasts and that we've done in reaction pods, that I never feel this team embarrass me in Europe. I never feel they embarrass me. I just always feel they put a performance in that I'm proud of, and even when they've been beat, they've maybe let us down a few times, but never. I just think back to the 90s and under Walter in the 90s, his first spell, and we were 4-4-2 against Juventus and attacking them, and just things like that. This team have earned the plaudits, they've earned the right to be in a big group like that, and it's quite nice that we've actually taken the shine off that lot in the East End as well, because nobody was really talking about them being in the Champions League. It was all about us, which was lovely. But moving on anyway, Scott Robertson, outstanding. Honestly, this is ridiculous.
It's bonkers, man.
Ridiculous. It really is. You do. Honestly, thank you, Scott. Thank you so much from all of us. It means a lot, and I don't know if we keep going like this. Do we do our next pod in Mexico with Ali, or
yeah, probably, mate. I don't know what we do. That's incredible.
But it's so nice, and you're putting pressure on the gaffer here, because he'll have to take us to Napoli away, or
Ian Morgan just became a member as well. Guys, this is class, man. Honestly, this is unbelievable.
This is brilliant, and this is what we want. Like, joking aside with the donations and the comments, it's what gives me a buzz, because we've got such a good community in the comments. It's brilliant. It's humbling. Sorry, Scotia. just parts of their apologies for that. You were like me with the Champions League draw. I'm pretty sure you're the same as me in terms of you like Serie A and you've always watched Italian football. I was delighted to see Napoli in our group, absolutely delighted. Obviously, they play at the Diego Maradona Arena, and I would love to go to that. Whether I can or not, I don't know, but I would love to go to it. How was the draw for you? Were you happy?
Yes, I was. When that draw got made, obviously when it came out with us, it was either pot A or pot C, and I really wanted to avoid pot C because I looked at that and I was like, yeah, there's no chance of getting anything from that really. Although I probably would have been in and analysed it and found a way that we would have managed to get something from it. But that group A, I think Klopp summed it up as well in his interview that it's pretty much a group of football history. The Napoli manager, can't remember exactly what he said, but he came out just saying like it's three other iconic European clubs. I mean, the three of them have all won the Champions League or the European Cup, as it was for Napoli and Ajax. It's phenomenal. It was a bit strange. I've always known this in the back of my head, that the way that the draw gets made, that it's the winners of the Champions League, the Europa League, and then the top 6 winners of their respective leagues. Because the last time that we were in it, it was based on just coefficient. So your top 7 or 8 teams were in pot 1. So it always means that pot 2 is going to be tasty because there's some big hitters in there, and we've got the biggest hitter of them all in Liverpool. That'll be fantastic. My wee brother and one of my pals that I go to the Scotland games with are both Liverpool fans, so I've been winding them up already, and that will continue until the fixtures actually come out. Looking forward to that. Ajax, great draw. I mean, and Napoli as well. Like you, I would love to be able to go to the Napoli game because I can probably annoy Carney and Pearson more with stories about Italy. Because I've only spent an hour in Naples when I was getting my train up to Rome.
Oh, God.
But I would love to go to Napoli.
No.
So that would be ideal. But the group itself, I looked at it, and yes, they're all good teams. Ajax are ranked 15th in the coefficients, Liverpool 2nd, Napoli 25th, we're 33rd. But I look at that, and there's winnable games in there, particularly at home. And as well with that group, each team could take something off each other. I mean, Liverpool, obviously, at the moment, I would love to play them right now because they've not got off to the best start in their season. But they will be a tough ask. Like Carney says, it will be difficult, but we've seen under Gio what we can do in Europe. And you do have a wee bit of belief and confidence because Ajax just pipped PSV to the league. Napoli, yeah, they're playing Fiorentina on... I've not seen them this season, Napoli, but they're playing Fiorentina on Sunday. That's in BT Sports, so I'll be tuning in to watch that because, they've lost Koulibaly, obviously, to Chelsea, and Milic and Insigne's away to the MLS with Toronto. So they've lost a few big players. Same with Ajax, they've lost a few big players. Looking at their kind of the net spends of the team, 90 million Ajax have spent, players coming in, 77 million that Liverpool have spent, and 61 million that Napoli have spent in players. We've spent 12 million so far. So it does kind of put into perspective where we are. But like I'm saying, with Gio in Europe, you do have to have a wee bit of confidence because we're all the same age. Like you, we are scarred from the 90s, from some of the Champions League groups in the 2000s. We are scarred, but under Gio and under Gerrard previously in Europe, we've kind of become a bit of a force to be reckoned with, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I am confident with this group. I think that I think we can do well in it, but I'm not terrified. I know Liverpool are a huge club and these teams are all spending money, but I'm not terrified going to these games. And I don't think the players will either. I've always said I do criticise this team at times domestically because I think they don't flex their muscles enough. But in Europe, I think there is something special about this team. They showed it last year, and I do think there's something special about the team, the way they're built, and there's a chemistry, and they've just got something right about them, and it just shows, as you say, if it's 12 million or whatever, 15 million it took to build this team. That's kind of what I was getting at after the PSV game, where it was disappointing to draw 2 each against PSV, but that's kind of where we're at the moment, qualifying for the group stages. And I think bring it on. I say just to do. I think bring it on. And yes, Ali Pearson, no more Italy chat. I get married in Italy, and that didn't end well. So we'll move on from that. Signings. I want to talk about signings because Gio keeps dropping. He said in his interview again today, his press conference today, that it could be a crazy week at the end of the transfer window. He said this a few times, but he also said weeks ago that we were done with our business, which I didn't believe for a second. Especially now we've qualified for the group stages. For me, Rangers do need to strengthen it. I do think we need to strengthen it. I would like to see another striker come in, whether Alfredo leaves or not. I think I would still like to see another striker in, so we're not relying solely on Cholak, because I don't think Sakala's at the races. I wouldn't be surprised if Rangers do push him out the door in the last day of the window or the last week. Carney, what's your views if we've got? Oh, listen, we're loaded. Let's be honest, we're absolutely stinking with money at the moment. We're rotten with it. Well, there's no need to keep the lights on now. They're on for good. What would you do if you were Gio? Where would you like to see our team strengthened?
Yeah, it's quickly again. Grant Sharps just became a YouTube member. Thank you. Honestly, this is generally amazing. The support's really unrivaled from the club at 22 level. That's absolutely tremendous. Where do we need to strengthen? I think, mate, the best tweet that I've seen is I just seen a face painter run down Paisley Road West counting a big wad of cash after we get through, and I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, that's a cracker. Well done. I'm sorry I didn't even note down who it was, but I was like, that's a belter. Absolute great one. Yeah, that's the thing, mate, is all of this is all accumulating to us being back in the admin, that's admin, that. I think we're going to admin for the 496th million time on Monday, which is good to know. All this money they were getting paid from the Champions League's obviously monopoly money. But we have to go. I think Gio deserves. I don't think we're going to be silly. I don't think Rangers are going to go out and just spend 10 million on a player just because we probably could. It's not going to be like that, and neither should it be. Gio's already built a bit of a team. I do think there has to have been conversations had, though. If you get Europa League, you get this for your last week. If you get Champions League, you get this for your last week. And it will be X, Y, and Z players, etc., etc. So I would be shocked if there's something not already in motion. I think he will bring in someone. I think he has to. And I can't disagree that it has to be a striker, mate, because Cholak and Morelos, yes, if Morelos stays, then yeah. Again, there is no update on where Kamaru is or what he's doing or when there's going to be any form of return for him. So we have to have somebody else, and it's almost difficult when we've kind of got this pot now that we can go into the transfer market with. Are we going to buy somebody better than Alfredo? Can we afford to buy somebody better than Alfredo? Can you afford to buy somebody that's better than Cholak right now? So I always find it difficult when you're buying just a squad player or a backup, if that makes sense. I think it's quite a difficult thing to do. Don't get me wrong, I think Ross Wilson and Gio have done extremely well so far. However, saying that and what I've said about us needing a striker, which I do think we need, the first thing we should be doing with that money is signing Tillman. I don't care how much it costs or how much it was agreed for. You go and you sign Tillman and you make him ours. Sure him up, because why would you not? I know there's no great rush for it, but I don't think that's a risk. I don't think there's any really risk in it. You can only see Rangers making money out of him based on his pedigree already. I think he will be just fine, and he's about to play in the Champions League. So Rangers' first port of call should be sign Tillman, go into the market to see what's there in terms of a striker, possibly as well, possibly a right winger, a right attacker, or maybe an attacker that can play across the front three, as another option, and then decide the future of Morelos and decide the future of Ryan Kent. If they're not getting new deals, fine, but let the club know, let the supporters know that they're not getting new deals, and this will be the last season, whatever it needs to be, because the constant guessing of it all. But that's what I would do with the money if I was Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I didn't actually think like that about Tillman, because he is about to enter the world stage, so to speak, in terms of the Champions League. And if he puts even one performance in that we know he can, then we will not be the only team looking to secure a deal for him. So, and I also seen that, Scott, and I know that's Scott Robertson. I know that's a wee bit of tongue in cheek. See those disco lights, by the way. I've seen their disco lights, and I never want to see that at Ibrox. I'll be gutted if we ever have disco lights like that, because that's artificial atmosphere for me. Just let the fans build the atmosphere. That's why Ibrox is the best atmosphere in the world, and they'll have their wee moment where they switch their lights off and they're all standing in a huddle in the pitch dark, which for me is creepy as anything. But nah, keep the disco lights away from Ibrox for me. Rant over. Scotia, where were we? Signings. Yes, I saw a bit of a tongue-in-cheek tweet the other day there, as everybody did, and it was Cristiano Ronaldo. Apparently his name is. Now, I've had a wee look at this boy on YouTube. He looks a decent player. Would you sign him?
Well, I think we'd be fighting it out with Napoli. I think Napoli's the latest rumour that they've kind of inquired about him as well. You know what? It would be great. One side of it would be absolutely great, but I don't really want to sign someone just because they want Champions League, if I'm being honest, because we actually had the OG Ronaldo, and I'm sure the Advocate was kind of trying to bring him from PSV, wasn't it?
Before he went to Barca. Was it before Barca, was it?
Yeah,
I thought it was Barca when they went to Barca. Was it? All right, okay.
I'm sure Advocate, because obviously Advocate had him in the youth team for PSV. And I'm sure there was kind of rumours that it was like, oh, he's only going to play in Champions League games and he'd get paid ridiculous amounts of money. So, yeah, it would be great to see Ronaldo play at Ibrox, but for me, it's a non-starter, really. Yeah.
Nah, I was honestly just a bit of tongue-in-cheek in terms of that question, to be honest. I just thought it was quite funny when that came up, because obviously we're all high as a kite, and I thought it was quite a funny story to see. But where would you, same question goes to a bit about signings, would you like to see us go into the market again before the window shuts, and where would you strengthen?
My area of strengthening straight away needs to be a number 8, a midfielder, someone in the middle. And there's a couple of reasons for that. There's the fact that Lundstrom's played now with sort of 3 players in that centre midfield over the last 3 games, and Jack, Davis and Kamara. Jack, so far this season, hasn't really been impressing me. Maybe he'll get up to speed eventually, but he's not been impressing me too much. He's in the last year of his contract. Kamara's obviously got 24-25 season, I think he's got, so there's no immediate need to sell Kamara to kind of get money in for him. We've got that safety net there anyway. But Kamara, again, domestically for me, doesn't look as if he's doing it. It was great on Wednesday night there, and I think you'll maybe see him be like this type of player that will maybe play in the European games more often than he will domestically, similar to what Walter Smith done with Himdani. He always get picked for the big European games. But I think we need a midfielder, a number 8, to come in and kind of to cement that, because at the minute we've got like Lundstrom, Sands could play up, and they're kind of in your 6 position. You've got Tillman and Lawrence in your 10 kind of area. I think we definitely need a midfielder in, and it's for the future as well, because obviously Davis, there's no way he'll be signing another contract extension. Jack, as I say, he's in the last year of his contract. Kamara, he'll probably go either this window or the following summer. We need kind of a midfielder in there, I think, because I think it is probably a wee bit too early still for Charlie McCann. I know you've probably seen him, but a midfielder for me is the priority, I would say. And then a striker would be ideal if, we need one just to back up. And it's interesting there what Carney says about Tillman. I hadn't really thought about signing Tillman up, because someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but is it a definite kind of option to buy, but it's a set price?
It's a set price, but then Bayern have a set price that they can buy him back no matter what he's worth, which will be more than obviously we pay. But I mean, as I guess, we buy him for 5, they buy him back for 10, something along the lines of that. I don't know the full details of it.
Right, okay, because you mentioned there that you'll have the chance to shine in the Champions League. You'll also have the chance to shine in the World Cup with the USA as well. So I'm assuming he'll be picked for their squad. So if it's a set price and it won't change, then we can maybe hold off on that. But if it were to change, then bloody hell!
I'm sorry. That's just like Jimmy. I mean, what is going on here? Where's Jeremy Beadle? Is he coming out? Is Jeremy Beadle coming out? That's incredible, man. Like, Jimmy's just donated 50 quid just before that, Ian donated 10. I'm running out of ways to thank you. Generally, I am. That's bonkers, man. That is absolutely you're off your nut. You're absolutely mental. That's incredible. I'm kind of speechless. I am kind of speechless. Thank you, honestly. I'll have a wee sorry. Sometimes you don't know how this kind of podcast is received, and generally it is me and my pals talking about Rangers. That's all it is. We've got ambitions to go as far as we can. We're willing to take this road to wherever it ends. We're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep plodding away. We're going to keep improving as much as we can, come up with different ideas. But sometimes I go overwhelmed with the support and the comments that we have, and we don't really have ideas generally, because without being big-headed about it, I think everybody just loves the fact that it is me and my pals talking about Rangers. And yeah, I mean, it's incredible. This is, look, my dream's to be able to do this full time. I would love to be able to sit and do this, have a conversation every single night with everyone and do all sorts of different things, going to do live shows at pubs, venues, all this kind of stuff. And you've got no idea how much this means to as well. I'm blown away. Literally tonight, I'm blown away by this. So thank you to absolutely everybody that's choosing to do this. Honestly, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I echo that, Ian and Jimmy. It's unbelievable, Jimmy. That's honestly ridiculous. And as Carney says, you're off your head. It's unreal. There is a lot of work is in the background, predominantly from Mr. Carney to get this pod up and running. There are costs that you wouldn't think about, and we do take blows. We are trying to get to the next level with certain things to bring you better content, and we've took a blow this week that we don't really need to go into because it's a positive podcast that we're doing, but there are things that we are doing in the background, and we're trying our best to get it to the next level for everyone, and it just supports us, and it's fantastic. It really is, and I'm running out. It's getting boring. I know me saying that, but it really is. It's so greatly received. What do you say? What do you say? We if we keep going like this, we'll be able to get Rangers a player.
We keep going like this, I'm going to buy Ibrox, man. What's going on here?
I'm going to try and bring the composure into this. Obviously, this being a podcast, and we don't want to sidetrack. We do have to review this Ross County game. I'm just looking at the time. I'm like, right, we're playing Ross County. That'll do us. I want Rangers to inquire about Billy Gilmour. I want to know what's happening with Billy Gilmour. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I think if we can get him on loan or a loan to buy, I think he's got to be considering his next move is a huge move. I would like to see Rangers just make a wee inquiry about Billy Gilmour. But anyway, let's move on. We've spoken about PSV in the Champions League for 52 minutes, geez. Rangers do play in the league tomorrow, domestically, so every chance of a draw. Only joking. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst asked about, in his press conference by Alex Lowry, I think it was Corey Munch had brought that up, and he said, Alex Lowry's going to be out for some weeks. I was at the B game. The tackle was worse than it shows on social media. It was a howler, and it was so unnecessary, and no chance was he trying to stop a cross. He was out there to injure someone, and that's my view. He said Glenn Kamara's out tomorrow. He's got a bit of discomfort from Wednesday night's game. The rest, it was quite generic. He complimented the teams that we are drawn against in the Champions League, and he's looking forward to it, and he said the squad are ready to go tomorrow, and he will be fielding a strong team. Arfield was good interview. I always find Arfield good in press conferences. He was just saying the calibre of player has improved at Ibrox in the last 5 years, and he feels that we're a team who express ourselves on and off the ball. And he praised Cholak as well and said he gave Cholak kind of pelters about scoring against Rangers last year, which is good as well. Again, just complimented the teams that we're drawn against. But I like Arfield in press conferences. You can see his passion he has for the club. So, boys, Ross County tomorrow at home. I was joking that we'll probably end up drawing. Of course I was. I am looking for a performance tomorrow, as always. But I do think Gio will change the team because I think he can. I think it's time for Yilmaz to come in, and I think it's time for him to make steps to get up to speed. We've spent a lot of money on that boy for us to say, oh, you had a nervous half hour against, or a nervous half against someone, you're not good enough. Scotia, what is your team and your thoughts and score? We'll just do it all in the one. What are your thoughts for tomorrow?
Well, usually for this, I actually do try and look into and watch a couple of highlights back from the team that we're playing against. But I've got to admit that this week has purely been based on me looking forward to the Champions League game. So I have not really looked at Ross County much, sitting ninth, 3 defeats and 1 win in the league. We beat them, 3 times last season? Or twice last season? No, 3 times. And we also had that ridiculous 3-each draw where they scored in the last minute, which kind of was the beginning of the end of our season last season. Malky Mackay, not the nicest person, but he's a good manager.
Nice.
I love how polite Scotia was about that. Immediately in my head, I just went, he's a prick.
that diplomatic, brilliant.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but he's a decent manager. He is a good manager. But as I say, I've not seen Ross County this season really, so I can't really comment much on them. Just want more of the same for us. It's obviously off the back of a massive game, but I still think we need to go out and kind of put on a performance because we've already dropped those 2 points last weekend. So we need to keep turning it over in the league. So I do expect a few changes from Gio, but not overly many. So for my team, I've gone for McLaughlin, Sands, Goldson, bringing Yilmaz in. It was for a Welsh club that he made those comments, though, wasn't it? I'm bringing Yilmaz in, like what you were saying there, Ryan. That I think now that's him been in the country now for a month. I do think there was maybe with Yilmaz there was a period that he did need to settle, obviously because he's not fully fluent in English, or if he can speak English at all, I'm not sure. But bring in him. I think it's an ideal game for him. Midfield, Lundstrom, Jack, and Arfield, and then going with Matondo, Tillman, Lawrence with Cholak up front. And I'm going 3-0, Cholak, first goal scorer.
Nice. Mr. Pearson has sent his team in. He's obviously sitting in a sun lounger, him and Carlos Pena at the moment, enjoying themselves. He's went McLaughlin, Tav, Goldson, Sands, Yilmaz, Lundstrom, Arfield, Tillman, Matondo, Cholak, right, 3-0, and Matondo, first goal. Yes, I want to see Matondo. Definitely, I agree with that. I think a lot of criticism's gone his way, but no, I want to see him tomorrow. Scott, Carney, I will come to you. Can you tell me your thoughts for tomorrow, what you're expecting, your team and score, please?
Tomorrow's going to be what it is, mate, into it against Ross County. We all know what Ross County are going to come and try and do. They're going to park the bus, the usual kind of stuff, mate. It'll be a stuffy game, but I think if this team aren't absolutely flying right now, then I don't think they ever will be. I was waiting for the... People have said, I think, the adrenaline's going to drop in that, and etc. etc. I think there's going to be a buzz at Ibrox tomorrow. I think you'll be able to feel it, just because of what we've achieved during the week. So I'm really looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to getting there, and I've not seen my dad since we got into the Champions League as well. So stuff like that. Really looking forward to it. It will be what it is. I think it will be. I can see it being 0-0 at half time, and I can see Rangers winning 3-0 in the second half. I can. Because we kind of know how that story goes, but I think it's time. I think it will be a bit of a refresh of the team. My team isn't far off what Ali's is there, to be honest. I would go McLaughlin, Tav, Goldson, Saz, Yilmaz, Lundstrom. I would play Lawrence and Tillman, and I would play Matondo, Cholak, and I'll play Ryan Kent. I don't know if he will risk Kent, just because of what he's. We might be due for a wee rest as well, because I don't know if he's completely fit as well. So I would, but if Kent's fit, I'll play Kent, Matondo, and Cholak as the front kind of three, and I'm going 3-0 Rangers, as I said, all goals coming in the second half, and for Cholak to score 2.
Nice, take it. So that's a clean sheet. 2 clean sheets we've got there, is it? I will go for same team as Ali, apart from Arfield won't play, Stephen Davis will, and I will go Tom Lawrence instead of Tillman. I think that'll be the change, and I'm going to go 4-0 Rangers, big performance, and I'm going Cholak again first goal, because I think the man is on fire, absolute fire. This has been the easiest pod I've done, absolute easiest pod I've done. It was supposed to be a preview. I hope that didn't bother anybody, because I know my homework on Ross County wasn't there. I'll be honest, I've been flying all week with the content coming in about the Champions League, the draw, and I think we've had a hard start to the season. It has been tough doing pods, because it has felt as if we've been quite negative and critical of the team. They have deserved it at times, but this has been most enjoyable this evening. I think I speak for the guys as well when I say that. The comments and the donations, again, hats off to you guys. It's unbelievable, but the community we're building is phenomenal. It really is. I'm running out of superlatives and what to say to you, but it's very, very, very humbling, and I love seeing it, and it makes it all worth it. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. And I want to say goodbye to my guest, Scotia. I might see you tomorrow. In fact, I won't, because I'm taking the boys up tomorrow. I managed to get both of them a ticket in the same section as me and my dad, but hope you enjoy your day tomorrow. It should be a good day without Ali, no?
It will be indeed, yes. Cheers, Ryan. Good podcasting, hosting even, should I say. I thought I'd get through this pod without any bloopers, but no one's picked up in the comments yet. I picked my team and there was 12 players in it.
No chance.
I'll remove Jack from my team. I'll remove Jack from my team.
If that's not worth 50 quid, I don't know what is, by the way. That is top notch, that. Well done, Scosh.
I can't believe you get a blooper in that. I did think of that earlier on. I was thinking, he's actually not had a blooper in this podcast. Maybe it's Ali puts the pressure on him. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Nice one. Thanks for coming on. And Carney, thank you for letting me host as always, mate. And hope you enjoy tomorrow.
My pleasure letting you host, mate. It's as much your pod as it is mine. Again, blown away by tonight. I've Ian, John, Grant, Scott, Rangers Avengers, Blue Drew, Jim Sloan, John Lammy, Andrew Moore, Ross McLeod, Jimmy as well. Yeah, absolute mental case. And not just them. It's not all about the money thing. I'm not. It's what everybody's going through right now it makes it more humbling. The fact that people are willing to do that for us and to help us go as far as we possibly can with us. It's very, very humbling. I don't take nothing away from everybody in the chat as well. This community is fantastic, man, and I love the conversations that we can all have with each other. Everybody's very respectful with each other. There's not much nonsense that goes on, and when the nonsense comes in, the club at 22 Loyal were very quick to stamp it out. So it's a real pleasure, an absolute real pleasure, and as if this week couldn't have got any better than I've come on and done this pod tonight. And your generosity, your involvement, your everything that you want to do and get involved in this podcast it's incredible. It genuinely is. It's really, really humbling, and trust me, this is just the start. So we are truly the people. Cheers, Ryan.
Nice one. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Hope everyone enjoys their weekend. And the last thing I'm going to say before this pod closes is we are in the Champions League.